Hey, everybody. Welcome to Your Money Map, sponsored by the Alliance for Lifetime Income. I'm your host, Jean Chatzky. Very glad to have you with us today. If your idea of retirement includes a carry on and a boarding pass, well, you are in some pretty good company. This summer, older Americans are hitting the roads and the skies in record numbers. According to one recent survey, 70% of adults 50 or older plan to travel this year. And whether it's checking off a bucket list destination or vacationing with the kids and grandkids, it's clear travel remains a top priority for retirees. Here to help us plan smarter, make our travel budget go a little further, and have a lot more fun is Emily Kaufman, better known as the Travel Mom. Emily has built a loyal following, sharing her travel tips, deals, and destination ideas for families of all shapes and sizes. You've probably seen her on Good Morning America, The Kelly Clarkson Show, or CNN, or maybe you've entered one of her legendary trip giveaways. Today, she is joining us to talk about the latest travel trends for retirees and why she believes travel's not just a luxury, but a way to stay connected and fulfilled at any age. Emily, welcome to the show.
Well, hello. It's so good to be with you. And I am a 62-year-old grandmother, so I am in this age wheelhouse, and I look forward to traveling every single time. I think travel is the greatest teacher in the whole world. And just because we're getting older doesn't mean we stop learning.
I think that this audience is right with you on that. And I am just a couple of years behind you, a grandmother for the very first time. And it's exciting to think about this new generation of family vacations. You have built this incredible platform as the travel mom, inspiring so many people to explore the world. How did you get your start in this space?
Well, I started this in the early 1990s, long before there was social media or blogging. I realized there was nobody talking to other mothers about planning their family vacation. And 85% of all family vacations at that time were actually planned by mom. Yet everything was targeting male business travelers. So I started going on television, talking in this very warm, conversational, mom to mom, real tone about how to plan trips and make that less stressful and more enjoyable for everyone. I was a preschool teacher, and oftentimes people would come to me and ask for advice on traveling with their little ones. And I would share some of the most basic tips with them, and nobody else was doing that. So I suppose you could say I was one of the very original mommy influencers.
I think you could absolutely say that. Let's talk about this year in particular. Despite some economic volatility, this summer is shaping up to be a pretty big one for travelers, especially among older travelers. AARP reports 70% of adults age 50 and over plan to travel this year. That's up from 65% last year. What do you think is driving these numbers?
I think that 60 and 70 are the new 30 and 40. And we're a very vibrant, curious generation. And I think post pandemic, people discovered that they really want to have experiences, meaningful travels. And we're in for a really robust summer of travel, and then looking at the fall as well.
I am working on a new book these days, Emily, and I've been doing some research into people who have bucket lists and what is on those bucket lists. And big trips tend to be bucket list items. Do you think that we often delay these things until we get a little bit older, both so that we can afford them, but also so that we have the time to really devote to them?
I do. I think both of those points are really valid. I also think that as we age, we realize, what are we waiting for? That time continues to march on. There isn't the perfect time for the trip. There is never the window of opportunity that something will be completely uninterrupted. However, we start to prioritize what means more to us. And for many of us, that's traveling, seeing the world, spending time with loved ones. And travel is a great way to do that.
When we talk about spending time with loved ones, often we're talking about multi-generational travel, which is really having a moment. What are some of your favorite ways to plan a trip for multiple generations?
That's so interesting you said that. I just came back this weekend from a multi-generation vacation in San Diego with my children and my grandson. And the key to a multi-generation vacation is picking the accommodations that are going to work for you and your family. Also having some clear rules and boundaries established. Are grandma and papa going to be the babysitters the whole time? And what are the financial expectations? What I say in my family is, I know who pays for the multi-generation vacation, and it's not my kids. So if I'm inviting my children to travel somewhere with us, I am taking care of the tab. Vacation rental homes are a fabulous idea if you're traveling in a multi-generation vacation. Cruises, another terrific option for things to go and do. Also, choosing places like cabins with the great outdoors. There are so many ways to enjoy a multi generation vacation.
We've got some recent research that shows retirees are averaging nearly 4 trips a year. More than half tell us that travel is their number one discretionary spending priority. For those people who are on a fixed income, which includes an awful lot, if not most retirees, how do you balance wanderlust with the reality of finances being limited? What are some of your favorite budget stretching tips?
Well, I've got quite a few suggestions. Let's start with memberships. Organizations you belong to, including AARP, AAA, military, first responders, retired teachers, credit unions. All of these organizations pre negotiate rates with hotels, cruise lines, airlines, rental cars, theme parks, and they pass those savings on to their members. So take a look at the cards that you've already got in your wallet and see if they've got any special offers going on. Also, if you don't see something on the website, pick up the phone and call that place and say to them, do you have any discounts in these categories? Chances are you will find them. The other suggestion is think about some of those retail stores. Big box stores like Walmart, Sam's Club, and Costco have travel departments. And because they're buying in bulk, just like they are with electronics or produce or paper towels, they have savings in all those travel categories as well. So you might look to a retail place to find a discount. Then the other thing I suggest is think about the off season, particularly in summer when the temperatures go up, the prices come down in beautiful resort destinations like Key West, Florida for a beach getaway. Their summer is filled with festivals. All of the Florida Keys have special events and activities, and this time of year is slower for them. So we see deals and discounts on the hotels, plus added value, things like complimentary breakfast or bike rentals, those types of things. Warm weather destinations, Greater Palm Springs, Scottsdale, Arizona, luxurious 5-star resorts that you stay at for 3-star prices right now, and they will give you credits to be used at the spa or dining or golf. So there are some great ways to save by going off season.
Travel agents have an interesting place in the world these days. Do you find that using someone to help plan your travel saves money or costs money in general?
I don't think it necessarily is going to add money to you. I don't think you're going to get all the significant savings, but I do think you're going to get that expertise. And if you're booking a cruise vacation, they know which cabin is the best cabin for you to be in. They know which beverage package is the right one for you. With resorts, they have relationships. They can make phone calls and send emails to do their best to have you get a little special treatment, maybe an upgrade or an amenity sent to your room. Travel agents are a wonderful, wonderful resource.
The other thing that I am seeing at a real sort of inflection point these days is use of credit card points and miles. What's your philosophy on the best way to use them? Do you spend them for hotels versus airfare? Do you hoard them for big trips, or do you use them as fast as you get them?
I use two different credit cards. One that is with the airline that I fly with the most, and I continue to get my status with that as well as miles. And I put certain purchases on that credit card. I also use an American Express Platinum card for other things because they have so many ways that you can use those points. And at certain times of the year, you can multiply points and transfer them to hotels and airlines. So it all depends on what you're looking to do. I know I'm a specific flyer on one airline. So for me to have that affinity credit card makes so much sense. And then the platinum card comes with perks that are things like credits to be used on an airline, priority status, access to the Centurion lounges in the airport. So it all depends on what you're looking to maximize with.
We know this year, and I think it may be a just a factor of everything that's going on in the world. But many retirees tell us that they're choosing to stay stateside. They're planning only to travel within the United States this year. Are there any hidden gem domestic destinations that you're recommending this summer?
Oh, absolutely. I want to remind people that we have so many fabulous places right here in the United States that are filled with culture and history. We're coming up on the 250th anniversary celebrating America. So all of the colonial original destinations have special events going on. North Carolina is reopened post hurricane and looking to welcome people to the great outdoors. Hawaii is as tropical and as exotic as you can get while still feeling the arms of Uncle Sam wrapped around you with no currency change, no language barrier. So there are a lot of terrific places to go and visit.
I can second that about the 250th. I live in Philadelphia, and every day in our local papers, there is just more and more information about the amazing things that are being planned for next year. And I was here as a child for the 200th. My parents grew up in Philadelphia. They brought us back for the bicentennial. I remember vividly going to see this gigantic birthday cake that Sarah Lee baked for America. And they actually, I don't know if they would do this today, but they gave you a souvenir coin and they dipped it in the icing, and everybody got a taste of America's birthday cake. So there are going to be some really, really spectacular things going on. One of the reasons that retirees tell us that they are choosing not to travel is the cost. About 20% say that financial uncertainty is keeping them home. You talked a little bit about destinations that are more affordable on the off season, but are there any other ways that you think about people making travel much more affordable? I keep reading about home swapping, for example.
I've never done home swapping. I'm sure that there's a place for it. I've never participated in that. Something I would suggest that is a free resource, no matter where you're planning to visit, there is a website and an organization dedicated to promoting that specific destination. It's called the Visitor and Convention Center. And if you go in and you use the keywords, the place you want to go, Visitor and Convention Bureau, You will get access to a free listing of all types of activities, accommodations, deals, and discounts that are taking place in that destination. There's also something called Resort Pass. If you don't want to pay for the price to stay at a resort, but would like to enjoy the amenities, say it's a beach destination or a pool destination, you can go to Resort Pass and purchase a day pass to experience those five-star luxury resorts. So that's another way to do it. Also, if you can wait until September, it's what we call the shoulder season. And here's a little tidbit why it's called the shoulder season. In the summer, we can go sleeveless. In the winter, we have the long sleeves. In this shoulder season, we just cover our shoulders. The weather's still nice and it's lovely. And travel is all about supply and demand. So after Labor Day weekend, when all the kids go back to school and families slow down with the travel, the weather is still spectacular and the deals are abundant. You will see a lot of things to incentivize you to come and visit. I live in Southern California. Our September and October here are some of the best weather of the entire year.
Thank you so much for being here. If you're looking for more tools and information to help make your retirement the best chapter yet, I hope that you'll check out the Alliance for Lifetime Income's website at protectedincome.org. And while you're there, sign up for our newsletter. Lots of great retirement tips. You can do that at protectedincome.org/subscribe. Thanks for watching, everybody, and happy travels. Bye.